In this lecture, we will look at how you can use movement in your shots to increase your audience interest in the story. Your camera is the eye and ear for your audience to enter the world of your story. It is the guide through the world you are exploring. As I am constantly working on short or long projects, I like to add movement into my sequences. To pre-visualize what various shots can look like, I will do an initial storyboard. For some sequences, a static image is not enough, so I use 3D modeling and animation packages to try out a range of moves. The software I use includes an open source package called Blender 3D, Carrara Studio Pro for setting up scenes and animating characters, and DAZ Studio Pro to set up pre-designed character models that I can shape into virtually any character I choose. DAZ3D.com also has a wide range of characters, vehicles, buildings, landscapes and props which are fairly inexpensive and can quickly build up into a very useful pre-visualization studio. Initially, it can take a bit of time putting everything together, but with a bit of practice, setting up shots can be fun and make your live action films look interesting. Once you have completed the pre-visualization in a 3D package, you then have to put the ideas into practice. Most cameras have a simple zoom facility which can allow you to reveal subjects initially hidden from view by zooming out. Or you can look over someone's shoulder and zoom into something that they're looking at. With the camera on a tripod, stability is added. But also, the mount allows you to pan and tilt. This can be useful if you are following the action as it moves past the camera. On a recent film, I needed a track and dolly system. Though outside my budget to buy one, a simple trip down to a local hardware store allowed me to get 42mm plumber's tubing to build a simple system. I then strapped my tripod to the dolly and was able to track down 24 feet or 7.32 meters. This basic system made for some interesting shots. Handheld shots bring a lot of movement to the scene, implying that the camera is in the thick of the action, so it is often used in documentary production. It is a useful technique for capturing actuality, but again has to be planned in the mind of the camera operator so that appropriate sequences can be cut together later in editing. So it is important to think about capturing establishing shots to set the scene, medium shots to show who is there, close-ups to add detail on objects used, and expressions of people's faces within the scene. A simple way to stabilize a small camcorder or mobile is to use a small tripod. Undo the locking screws and hold the tilt handle and legs. The weight of the tripod will help to keep the camera more stable, as you can see from the example. A gimbal is a pivotal support that allows an object to remain horizontal when the surrounding structure is in erratic movement. For video production, gimbals are used to smooth out movements, such as when a camera is attached to an aircraft. If the camera was attached without a gimbal, the vibrations of the aircraft would make the images unusable. Actuality, in terms of video production, is recording pictures and sounds of events as they actually happen. So, for example, recording a birthday party, a wedding, a dinner party, granddad digging the garden, or someone baking cakes. There are endless situations that you can film. Quite often they are spur of the moment when you are ill-prepared and it is spontaneous. However, if you have learnt a range of shots that you know will edit together into a sequence, then such situations can become easier for you to record. The key thing is to count in your head how long you hold the camera in one shot before you move to the next area of interest. Remember, the camera is not a hose. It needs to be held static so the audience has time to look. As a rule of thumb, I like to record about 10 seconds of video on one subject before I move the camera to the next, then hold again for a further 10 seconds. By doing this, I have 3 potential shots I can use. If I do not have time for a camera movement during the edit, then the 2 static shots can be cut into a sequence. In this lecture, we've looked at using 3D software to work out camera movements for live action, how to use the zoom on a camera, pan and tilts using a tripod, how to use a simple homemade track and dolly system, how to do handheld shots with and without a stabilizing system, how a gimbal can be used to smooth out shots. We've also talked about how to make camera movements help you to tell your story and how to film actuality. As an exercise, get permission from your family to record a social event. Using a handheld camera, try to record about 10 shots that can be edited together to tell the story of the event.